Hello and welcome to another live Q&A. My name is Adelaide and I am a certified nutrition and wellness consultant here with Rose Natural Wellness. And once a week we go live to answer the questions that you have about nutrition and holistic wellness. So if you have any particular questions, be sure to throw those into the chat and I'd be happy to address those. But today we are going to really focus in on a big question that I get asked all the time, and that is going to be all about snacking. So one thing that I often hear is snacking bad for you? So we are going to dive into what actually matters when it comes to snacking. So should I stop snacking? Is really snacking something to be avoided when it comes to becoming healthy or even weight loss? No. Snacking can absolutely be a part of our balanced, healthy eating pattern, and it's really important to incorporate that as a part of our routine if we need that extra energy boost. Now, that doesn't mean that we should be snacking on everything under the sun. It is going to still require a very specific approach, and it needs to be something that really supports our health. So, we're going to go ahead and dive into that. Commonly, we hear don't snack if you want to be healthy. And often that typically comes from the diet culture that we see so commonly in our society. And that kind of old adage or old mentality that in order to lose weight, you need to cut out more foods and cut out your snacks. This is definitely a myth. So we'll touch on this other piece here real quick as well, because I feel like this is another kind of secondary myth that comes up very commonly. And that is really not the approach that we take. Often, I actually find when I'm working one on one with women, particularly women that want to lose weight, I actually find that many of them are not eating enough to support their needs and support their goal of weight loss. So it's actually quite the opposite. Instead of taking things out and limiting, we really actually want to add things in, because many of us that are trying to lose weight are actually not eating enough, or we're not eating enough of the right things to support that goal. So, snacking itself is really not bad. Snacking at its core is just a way that we can fill in nutritional gaps and get a little bit more of an energy boost throughout the day. Most people, on average, are typically eating about 3 meals per day, and some people are also incorporating some snacks. So, snacking, again, is just to kind of fill that nutrient or energy deficit that we may not otherwise get in our 3 square meals of the day. So, really, what we're looking at is applying a concept that I like to call smart snacking. So, smart snacking is really being more intentional about the types of snacks that we're consuming and really planning ahead rather than being reactionary. If you find yourself getting hungry throughout the day and that's when your inclination to snack starts happening, what often happens is if we're not planning ahead, we're acting out of a reactionary standpoint. So anything that sounds good when you walk by the vending machine is probably going to be calling your name. So you may end up eating a pack of Skittles instead of something like an apple and peanut butter. So we really want to plan ahead and be prepared, especially knowing your own body and knowing yourself. If you find that you have a tendency to get hungry, let's say at 2 p.m. in the afternoon, we want to find ways to plan ahead and prepare healthy snacks for you that are going to support those energy needs throughout the day. So, some key things when it comes to balanced snacks, we also talk on this channel a lot about the balanced plate. So, our snacks are going to be very similar. We want to aim for balance in our snacks. Ideally, we would like to see all 3 macronutrients in your healthy snacks, but if not, at least we want to aim for 2 out of the 3 macronutrients. So we're talking protein, healthy carbohydrates, and healthy fats. Within the realm of healthy carbohydrates, we also have fiber, and that makes for a very good addition to our healthy snacks as well. So the key is we want to aim for at least 2 out of the 3 of our major macronutrients included in our snacks. So some really key examples are going to be things like apple slices with some sort of nut butter. That can be peanut butter, almond butter, cashew butter, whatever makes sense for you. That is a great option for a healthy snack because we have apples as our healthy carbohydrate. and we've got peanut butter or some other type of nut butter as our healthy fat, which also provides some protein. So we're kind of checking off all three boxes there. Another great option would be something like Greek yogurt and berries. You could also add in a little bit of granola if you want some crunch, a little bit of a higher carb count there. Super great option. Hummus and carrots is one of my personal favorites. I love hummus because it is really high in healthy protein and good monounsaturated fats. And then our carrots are going to be our healthy carbohydrates. So those are just a couple of quick examples. Certainly, there is a wide variety of other examples that you could utilize to support your health goals with this concept of smart snacking, but definitely aim for at least 2 out of the 3 of our major macronutrients in every single snack. Now, a couple of practical tips for how we can apply this and make this even more applicable to our lives is setting kind of a snack window. So, when I mentioned the example of if you're getting hungry by 2 p.m. in the afternoon, that could be a great opportunity for setting up a little snack window. So, this may be after lunch, but before dinner, you may be kind of hitting that midday crash, especially if you've been working all day. Great opportunity for a little energy boost with some healthy snacks. So your snack window should be something that is a little bit of a range, gives you some flexibility, but is going to be during a time of day where you wouldn't normally eat a meal or you're between meals. So this could be in the morning pre-lunch. So maybe you have breakfast, or maybe you're somebody that doesn't typically eat breakfast. So maybe the snack kind of replaces your breakfast. You set your little snack pre-lunch and you have your lunch, and then mid-afternoon is a great time for snacks. I would note that typically we want to avoid snacking late into the night. The only exception would probably be if you're already planning on staying up really late, or maybe if you're a night worker or something like that. You can certainly add in a snack window in the evening or into the nighttime. But for most people, I would say avoiding those later night snacks are going to be really helpful, because typically late night snacks end up getting into the realm of more of cravings rather than actual hunger. And also, when we're sleeping, we're entering into a fasting period where we're not eating any food because you should be sleeping. And during that time frame, we want to give our body as much time as possible to process through its healthy digestion processes and really work through all of the food that you've eaten the prior day. So if you're eating too close to bedtime, this can impact that process. Certainly, we can again lean into the realm of cravings where you might select less healthy options through that process. And also, some people may find that they have more indigestion, more gassiness. They may have just a harder time processing foods that are eaten right before bed. And there are definitely some people as well who even experience things like nightmares if they eat anything too close to bedtime, especially if that is something like a sweet treat. That can often be a contributing factor to nightmares and interrupted sleep. Also, things like heartburn, and GERD and that sort of thing. So, really, I would aim to avoid those evening or late night snacks and just opt to move things a little bit earlier in the day. Then the next tip that I have is be prepared. So you want to plan ahead for what your snacks are going to be and then pre-prep those ingredients or stock up on them so that they're ready to go, and it just makes it really easy to grab that snack without needing to take a bunch of extra steps. So if you are going to do something like hummus and carrots, a great way to go about that would be getting a little meal prep container and pre-portioning your hummus and your carrots. If you're going to do something like an apple, which requires a little bit more prep work, maybe cutting that apple in the morning so that you have it for the afternoon, even the prior evening. Just doing these things that you need to do to prepare those snacks in advance is going to really help save you some time, and it'll make it a lot easier to lean into the healthy option as your go-to rather than something that you pass by in a vending machine or driving by a gas station you just pick up on the way home. So that would be my second recommendation, is just pre-prep or stock up on your favorite healthy snacks so that they're ready to go. And then the last thing is really going to tie into this concept of cravings versus hunger. We really want to pause and ask ourselves before eating any snacks, am I hungry or am I just bored, tired, sad, excited, any other number of different emotional states? What we often see in terms of cravings versus hunger is going to be a true need for additional calories and nutrients. Typically, you will find yourself hungry for multiple different kinds of food. It may not be just one particular thing, and you are more likely to lean into those healthy options to satisfy the hunger. Versus cravings tend to come on very suddenly. They're usually triggered by some sort of emotional state or a common environmental trigger. So, for example, if you're driving home from work and you pass by McDonald's, you may be able to smell the food that's cooking at McDonald's, and that may be a craving trigger for, a burger and fries. So, really assessing if you are experiencing hunger or cravings is going to really help dictate your mental state before you get started eating. And it's going to really help determine, one, if we're hungry or craving something, and then will help to lead us more in the direction of selecting a healthy snack option to support our health. So, really, those are the main three things. Set your snacking window so you have an idea in mind of when you will be eating your snack. Pre prep and stock up on your favorite snacks so they're really easy and ready to go when you need them. And then assess before you start eating if you're hungry or if you are craving something. So I know this was just a very quick, brief live, but I did want to go over that big topic because I often find that that's a major question that people have. So I hope this was helpful for you and kind of busted some myths around snacking. And certainly, if you have any other questions, you're always welcome to pop those into the chat, or you can connect with us on our other social medias for more free tips and support from our team. So that is Rose Natural Wellness. And again, my name is Adelaide, and thank you for joining our Q&A live. We look forward to seeing you next week. Have a healthy and happy day.